This is the Iowa weather report for Friday, August the 14th, 2015, and now our first look at the 0Z GFS Model Run at 1 p.m. this afternoon. Ridge over the Rockies and the Plain States. Slight northwesterly flow around here will keep the temperatures from really getting too warm around here, but it's going to be warmer and more humid than it's been the last few days, with readings well into the 80s, maybe a 90 or 2 in some areas, especially the southwestern counties. The humidity levels will be increased a bit more as well, so it will see heat indices well into the 90s in some areas. It will be fairly dry. Looks to be fairly dry here on Saturday, so a good day to go to the state fair. But if you're going to the state fair, you better take some, or be in at least some of the air conditioning, especially in the Varied Industries building, because it's going to be quite hot and quite humid. Highs around 90 or so with increased humidity levels. Same case would be for Sunday as well. Frontal system is going to be approaching from the northwest late in the day, and that could spark an isolated shower or storm in our far northwestern counties. And then this frontal system just sags into the state and begins to slowly stall, and we have little waves of low pressure going along it. This being Monday, some showers and thunderstorms are possible. It won't be all day. There will be some breaks in the rain. There'll be some breaks in any clouds, so there could be some sunshine around. Any sunshine will boost the temperatures up into the lower to mid 80s. Otherwise, we could see temperatures around the 80-degree mark. See here on Tuesday, it looks to be rather wet with some breaks, as I mentioned before. Wednesday, another case of some breaks, some sunshine. It may be a bit warmer here with the winds out of the southwest again, so we could see mid to upper 80s on Wednesday as another wave of low pressure moves in from the west. And then as this moves into Thursday, Thursday looks to be drying out a little more as this frontal system begins to finally move away to the south and east. That might bring a little more sunshine, temperatures in the 80s, mainly the lower 80s at least it looks at this point. You can still see here Friday, next Friday, so you have trough axis moving across the area, and that's with that system because it's not really being pushed to the east because you see a fairly decent ridge of high pressure over the western Atlantic and into the east. It's going to keep this system from really moving, so there could be another wave of low pressure that could produce more showers and thunderstorms. But the consistency this far out has been a little bit suspect, so we'll keep watching it over the next couple of days to see what happens. Going into the extended period on the 25th, we have a trough axis moving into the northern parts of Montana, the northern Rockies, into the northern plains. That could bring us a storm system that could sweep into the area with a little bit of shower and thunderstorm activity, possibly that night of the 25th into the 26th. We'll have to wait and see. Readings look to be fairly close to seasonal levels in the lower to middle 80s, but the consistency in this extended period has been fairly hit or miss at this point. The end of the forecast on the 29th, main storm track pretty much across the northern tier of the country, mainly over us at this point as it looks like it's beginning to sag to the south. Any heat and humidity looks to be pushed a little bit south of the state. Storm system, at least according to this run, would be moving through. But as I mentioned before, the consistency has not been there past the 7-day period, so our confidence is fairly low at this time, but we'll keep watching for any trends that may develop in the coming days. Satellite image from last evening, complex of showers and storms over Nebraska and Kansas. That was not moving in our direction. A little bit of activity across Colorado into Oklahoma and Texas. Some clouds in the west and clouds moving off the east coast and down into South Florida. Watch warning map from last evening. Some red flag warnings in the northwest into the northern Rockies. A lot of heat issues across the desert southwest and into Southern California. But from the plains eastward, it was fairly quiet across the country at this point. KPF chart precipitation over the next 5 days through Tuesday evening at 7 o'clock shows some rainfall amounts. This is mainly from Sunday night on, around a quarter to a half an inch with some heavier rains, possibly over the Siouxland area where they could see more than an inch.